Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to get into the heart of compelling stories and bring you the insights that matter.
That's the goal.
And today, we're really diving into something fascinating, the power of art. Specifically, how it just crosses borders, brings cultures together, sometimes in ways you really don't expect.
Yeah, it's like this universal language, isn't it? It connects people on a level that, well, words sometimes can't quite reach.
Exactly. And our focus today is on two incredible Eritrean artists, Sonny Alem and Marta Woldu.
Their stories are quite something. They really show how deep cultural roots can, flourish on a global stage.
Right. And not just flourish, but actually make a real impact, fostering understanding.
Absolutely.
So our mission really is to unpack how these artists manage to blend their rich Eritrean heritage with more modern global sounds and styles.
And highlight their achievements, both personal and artistic. It's a chance to see the positive side of Eritrean culture reaching out worldwide.
Yeah, it's more than just looking at pretty pictures or listening to nice music. We want you, the listener, to maybe have some aha moments.
About things like cultural diplomacy, how artists keep going despite challenges, that vibrant mix that makes up global art.
And how one person's story can actually shift the bigger picture.
Precisely.
Okay, so let's start with Sonny Alem. He also goes by Sonny Alem. He's an R&B and pop artist, and he's really making waves internationally.
Yeah, his sound is pretty distinctive. It's this mix, this blend of R&B and pop, but it's got these traditional Eritrean melodies and rhythms woven right in.
It feels both new and kind of familiar somehow.
That's the magic, I think. And his goal isn't just making hits, right? He wants music that speaks to people in Eritrea and connects with listeners everywhere.
Okay, let's unpack this. How does an artist so expertly achieve such a compelling blend, weaving together traditional sounds with modern genres? It seems like a tough balance.
It really is. And I think what's fascinating with Sonny Alem is that it's not just like slapping some traditional sounds on top of a pop track. It's deeper.
Oh, right.
He's integrating them, making them part of the foundation. And that ability, well, it comes from really deep roots. It starts with his family.
Ah, okay. Tell us about that.
His father, Alem Hale, was a musician and an author. He actually played drums with the Eritrean People's Liberation Front, the EPLF cultural group.
Wow, okay. The EPLF cultural group. That sounds significant.
Oh, it was. The EPLF knew how powerful culture and art were, for building solidarity, for getting their message out. Music, dance, poetry, these were tools for them.
So his father's music was tied into the national movement.
Directly. They weren't just playing for locals. They toured internationally. His dad's group even went to Italian cities back in the 90s, sharing the Eritrean story through music.
That's incredible context.
So for Sonny, music wasn't just something he liked. It was, as he says, rooted in his blood. It's a legacy.
That's a powerful legacy. It does sound almost like destiny. But it wasn't just inherited talent, right? He actively learned the traditional stuff, too.
Exactly. He didn't just rely on genetics, so to speak. He went out and learned. He studied the krar.
The Eritrean lyre.
That's the one. A 5-stringed lyre gives you that kind of hypnotic buzzing sound sometimes. He learned it from Vittorio Bossi, a legendary artist who sadly passed away.
Learning from a master like that must have given him a solid foundation.
Absolutely. The scales, the phrasing, the rhythms, it gets ingrained. And he also learned the shambeko,
Which
is a traditional flute-like instrument. Has this kind of reedy, piercing sound, really soulful. It often carries the melody in traditional music.
So he absorbed all these traditional sounds early on.
Deeply. And having that internal library, that understanding of the unique sounds and feelings of these instruments, that's what lets him weave them into his R&B and pop so seamlessly now. You might not even consciously notice it, but it's there, giving it depth.
And there was a key moment, right? Something that pushed him from just playing instruments to actually singing.
Yes, a real turning point. He actually started out as a dancer, which, shows his connection to rhythm.
Interesting.
But he talks about his very first time performing as a singer. And crucially, he was backed by those traditional instruments, the krar and the shambeko.
Ah.
And the audience reaction. He said, it's still etched in my mind. That connection, that feeling of his voice resonating with those traditional sounds and reaching the audience.
That was it.
That was it. He knew right then he had to be a singer. It showed him the unique power his voice had when it carried those echoes of his heritage.
15 years professionally, over 300 events.
That's a solid track record. But he was also studying during a lot of that time. Sounds intense.
It really speaks to his dedication. He was at Adiki College of Arts and Social Sciences, balancing music and academics.
And Adiki isn't exactly central, is it?
No, it's remote. He talks about the challenge traveling back and forth to the capital for a recording, for gigs. It was tough. Sleepless nights and constant travel, he calls it.
Wow.
So 300 plus events might even seem low for 15 years, but you have to factor in that struggle. But interestingly, he saw college, his fine arts major, as helping him.
Oh, so? It gave him discipline, a structured way to think about creativity, composition, even performance. It wasn't a distraction, it honed his craft, gave him a broader artistic view.
So graduating must have been a huge relief, allowing him to just focus purely on the music. Is that when his signature sound really clicked into place?
That seems to be the case. Once he had that time and space, free from the academic grind and the constant travel, he could really dedicate himself.
An experiment.
Exactly. He mentions trying different things, even solo for a while. But he said, nothing resonated with my heart, quite like R&B pop.
So he had to find his way back to that core feeling.
Right. It's that journey of figuring out what feels truly authentic. Full dedication let him refine everything he'd absorbed, the traditional roots, the global influences, into the sound we hear now. His sound.
Which led to his first album, I'm Possible. That title. It says a lot about that journey, doesn't it?
It really does. It's a statement of resilience. Releasing that album was huge for him, personally and professionally. He said it was when he truly realized I could share my art with the world.
A breakthrough moment.
Totally. After all the challenges, the remote location, balancing everything, finding his niche, that title captures it perfectly. And he says the best part is when listeners connect, when his stories resonate. That makes it all meaningful.
And the themes on the album? Are they personal, cultural, universal?
All of the above, really. He explores things like love, identity, resilience, pretty universal themes. But he draws directly from his own life and his cultural background.
So a mix again.
Yeah. You might get a love song that feels totally relatable, but maybe it has a subtle Eritrean melodic feel. Or a track about perseverance that connects to his personal struggle, but also echoes, a wider Eritrean spirit that lets people connect on different levels.
Now, this next part is where things get really, really big picture. Tell us about the World Album. This sounds absolutely massive.
It is, historically massive. The World Album International Artist Project. It's the first album ever to feature artists born or raised in every single country on the planet, on one album.
Every country? How is that even possible?
The scale is staggering. We're talking 200 songs, 93 languages, 121 different genres and subgenres. And it runs for 12 and a half hours straight.
12 and a half hours. Wow.
So Sonny being selected for this. It's monumental, not just for him, but for Eritrean music getting that kind of unprecedented global stage. It's huge validation.
I can only imagine. How does Sonny himself talk about it, being part of something that unique?
He sounds pretty awestruck, honestly. He uses words like surreal, says he still can't quite believe it's happening.
Understandable.
Yeah. And he feels humbled, to be alongside artists from literally everywhere. For him, it's not just about his own career. It's a chance to represent Eritrea.
To share its cultural story.
Exactly. His goal is to show the beauty of Eritrean music, its uniqueness, while also being part of this bigger message of global unity through music. He wants to challenge perceptions and broaden awareness. And we connect this to the bigger picture. This project isn't just about individual artistic triumph. It's a profound statement on how music can be a universal language for unity and cultural celebration, with Eritrea's unique contribution shining brightly.
It really puts Eritrean music on the map in a completely new way.
It does. It says, look, this isn't some niche thing. It's a vital part of the global soundscape. It's powerful cultural diplomacy happening right there in the music, a really positive impact.
So thinking about his specific track on the World album, what should listeners expect to hear? Will it be that signature blend?
Definitely expect his signature sound, that fusion of R&B with traditional Eritrean elements. But more than just the sound, he wants it to tell a story, evoke emotion.
Connect with people.
Right, and connect specifically with the album's theme of unity and cultural harmony. It's designed to show how different cultural sounds can come together beautifully. A dialogue between Eritrea and the world, essentially. He wants it to leave a mark.
Now, you mentioned challenges earlier. Finding his niche was part of that challenge, dealing with the popularity of specific traditional genres back home, like Gwaila.
Yes, that's definitely been part of his journey. Gwaila is hugely popular in Eritrea. It's that really vibrant, energetic, traditional dance music.
Often played at celebrations, right?
Exactly. Krar, drums like the kibaro, the wada fiddle. Very infectious, very upbeat. And while it's beloved and culturally vital, Its dominance can make it tougher for artists exploring different sounds.
Like Sonny's more R&B infused, maybe more introspective tracks.
Precisely. If the market heavily favors that high-energy dance sound, it can be harder for other styles, even those using traditional elements differently, to get the same level of mainstream attention locally.
So he's had to consciously push against that current sometimes.
You could say that. But rather than just conforming, he stuck to his vision. He talks about wanting to challenge stereotypes, to show the diversity within Eritrean culture and music.
To broaden the definition.
Exactly. He feels Eritrean culture, especially contemporary art, isn't always fully seen or understood globally. So his music becomes more than just personal expression. It's a mission.
A mission to showcase richness.
Yeah, the richness of Eritrean and, more broadly, African musical traditions and how they feed into contemporary global art. He really sees himself as a cultural ambassador in that sense.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? It's about witnessing an artist who is also a cultural ambassador, isn't it? His music is doing diplomatic work, in a way.
Precisely. Sonny Alem isn't just making tracks, he's presenting a modern, nuanced view of Eritrean identity. He's pushing boundaries, inviting you to hear the depth and versatility.
So listening is like engaging in a conversation.
In a way, yes. You're hearing the positive impact of Eritrean art on the world stage, seeing how tradition evolves. His music is the ambassador, carrying that spirit. And he wants it to last, to keep that dialogue going.
Okay, let's pivot now to our second artist, Marta Woldu, another incredible Eritrean talent making waves internationally. She recently received the Pride of Africa Asia Pacific Awards 2025. Tell us about that award.
It's a really significant honor. This award specifically celebrates achievements by Africans and their partners across the Asia-Pacific region.
Okay.
It focuses on people contributing to cultural exchange, innovation, collaboration, basically building bridges between Africa and that part of the world. This raises an important question. How does an artist's deeply personal journey intertwine with such significant international recognition and cultural diplomacy? Marta's story is fascinating in that regard.
Her getting this award really highlights that connection, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It validates her work in the arts and her role in strengthening those cultural ties. It's a huge milestone for her, but also, an inspiration for other artists, showing the reach of Eritrean talent. It's a beacon.
And like Sonny, her artistic roots go deep. A family legacy there, too.
Oh, incredibly deep. She grew up in Haweli Sahel, born to artist parents. She says they profoundly influenced her entire life, sparking that creative fire early on.
Both parents artists.
Yes. Her father, Woldu Afwerki, taught at the Eritrean School of Fine Arts, a respected figure.
And her mother.
Her late mother, Tirhas Yasu. Her story is quite remarkable. She was one of Eritrea's very first female painters, a real pioneer.
Wow. In what ways?
Her work spanned sculpture, painting, illustration, ceramics. And crucially, she was active during the armed struggle for independence and afterward. Her art wasn't just personal expression, it served the nation, challenged norms. She passed in 2008, but her legacy is huge.
So Marta grew up literally surrounded by art and artists and the spirit of cultural significance.
Exactly. Imagine being exposed to Eritrea's leading artists from day one, not just her parents, but their circle. It fostered this deep, almost instinctive connection to art.
You can see how that would shape someone.
Her parents apparently tell stories of her drawing from age 3, just naturally drawn to it. And her mother's example, breaking ground as a woman artist. That must have been incredibly powerful for Marta growing up. Gave her courage, perhaps.
It seems almost inevitable she'd end up at the Asmara School of Fine Arts then. But her education took an interesting turn involving China.
Yes, that's where her path starts to get really global. She enrolled at the Asmara School of Fine Arts in '97, and significantly, she was guided there by Chinese art teachers who were part of the collaboration.
So cross-cultural influence right from the start of her formal training.
Exactly. It exposed her early on to different techniques, different ways of thinking about art. It sort of primed her for what came next.
Which was the scholarship to China itself. That sounds like a game changer.
Absolutely transformative. In 2004, some Chinese art scholars saw her work at an exhibition of her late mother's art.
Wow, her mother's legacy opening doors again.
Isn't that something? It led to this scholarship. And she went to China, immersing herself in traditional and contemporary Chinese art. She majored in oil painting, but also studied sculpture, printmaking. Graduated in 2008.
So she really absorbed those different traditions.
Deeply. The brushwork, the composition, the connection to nature and Chinese art, it all became part of her toolkit, broadening her perspective enormously.
And she didn't just stop there.
No, she really dove in, took Chinese language classes, even worked for a while as a flight attendant for a Chinese airline. Talk about full immersion.
It's a dedication.
It gave her this unique understanding of the culture,
Yeah.
of communication. Then, after having her baby, she returned full force to her art, bringing all those rich cross-cultural experiences with her. They really inform her work now.
And then she opened her own studio, Sip and Dip. Even the name sounds intriguing, combining art and community.
That's exactly the idea. Sip and Dip isn't just a place to paint. It's meant to be a hub, a community space.
Sip and Dip, like sipping coffee or wine.
Precisely. She named it thinking about the traditional Eritrean coffee ceremony, the Jabina Buna, that ritual of warmth, hospitality, sharing, and also the relapsed feeling of sharing wine with friends.
Blending art with that warmth.
Yes, making the creative process itself a kind of mindful shared experience. Art as a catalyst for connection.
Here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just an art studio, it's a dynamic center for cultural immersion and artistic innovation. What kinds of things happen there? What workshops does she offer?
It's really diverse, reflecting her broad vision. Of course, there's painting and sculpture, taught with her unique perspective. But she also brings in other artists to lead workshops on things like making your own lipstick.
Lipstick, really?
Yeah, like mixing colors,
Oh,
designing cosmetic art, also soap and candle making, jewelry crafting, turning everyday things into personal art.
that broadens the appeal, I imagine.
Definitely. And the atmosphere is key. She sometimes has African drummers come in, adding this rhythmic sensory layer.
Wow.
And one really unique thing is lotus leaf painting, using dried lotus leaves as the canvas.
Lotus leaves? How does that work?
The leaves have this amazing natural texture, the veins. It gives the art painted on them this organic, earthy feel. It blends traditional technique with contemporary art beautifully. It's all about a holistic, cultural, creative experience.
And beyond the workshops, she hosts an annual cultural event, too, focused on Eritrea.
Yes, a big celebration each year. It's all about showcasing Eritrean history, traditions, culture through art, music, crafts.
So sharing her heritage with the local community in China.
Exactly. But also strategically showing the potential of Eritrean art in the global market. It's another form of cultural ambassadorship,
Right.
building bridges through these vibrant events.
Let's go back to that Pride of Africa award. You said it's significant. Tell us more about the award itself and how she was chosen.
Right, so it was the 11th year for the award, founded by Dr. Samantha from Zimbabwe, someone really dedicated to promoting Africa. The award aims to lift up African culture, business, music within Asia.
Recognizing impactful work.
Precisely. And Marta won in the art and culture category. What's interesting is the selection process, it's based on community voting.
So the public chooses.
Yeah, which really underscores its connection to the community, recognizing leaders and innovators acknowledged by the people. For Marta, getting this award highlights her efforts, yes, but also the wider importance of celebrating African creativity globally. It's a powerful validation from the community itself.
And getting that validation in a foreign country, especially a competitive place like China, that must be incredibly meaningful and probably hard-won.
Absolutely. It's a huge boost. It raises the visibility of her work, adds value to her creations. She herself says it's no small feat to achieve recognition like this abroad. She talks about the challenges language barriers initially, navigating cultural business practices, even finding the right art supplies, marketing her niche. It took resilience.
So the award reflects that tenacity, too.
For sure. Succeeding and being celebrated in such a dynamic market shows incredible skill, adaptability, and just sheer commitment to her art.
You mentioned the award involves partners and friends of Africa, too. How diverse was the competition? Was it truly global?
It was remarkably diverse.
Mm-hmm.
Participants came from Africa, the Caribbean, Asia, Europe. And crucially, it wasn't just for people of African descent. There was a Friends of Africa category.
Yeah.
This included people like former Chinese diplomats who served in Africa, or Chinese professionals who've contributed to the continent.
That's a great way to recognize partnerships.
It really shows a collective global spirit around celebrating African heritage. So Marta winning the Art and Culture Prize within that broad, inclusive field really highlights the unique creativity that emerges when diverse people come together to champion these contributions.
Yeah.
What's fascinating here is how this award isn't just a personal accolade, but a powerful symbol of cultural diplomacy, proving that art can truly bridge continents and foster global understanding.
Her art becomes a literal bridge.
Exactly. Her studio, her work, now this award. They're tangible connections, weaving Eritrea's positive story into the Asia-Pacific narrative and beyond. It shows Eritrean culture making a real positive impact globally.
That's a powerful way to frame it. And the award ceremony itself sounded quite emotional and
It
symbolic.
really was. Marta described feeling immense pride walking onto the stage with her Eritrean friends there in China, holding the Eritrean flag.
A big moment.
Huge. On an international stage like that, it was a moment of national pride, collective achievement, and they played Abeba Hale's famous song, Abi Ayu Adki, Where Is Your Country?
Wow, perfect choice.
It just underscored that theme of identity, belonging, the Eritrean spirit.
Mm.
Very poignant. She received a certificate and a trophy, and she sees them as real motivation, fuel for the future.
So what does this mean for her next steps, and how did she frame this achievement personally?
Well, she plans to keep expanding, focusing on cultural exchange. She wants to organize more exhibitions, blending her work with art from other parts of Africa, especially West Africa.
Broadening the dialogue.
Yes, showcasing diverse African art, fostering connections across the continent and beyond. And personally, the dedication was very moving. She dedicated the award to her parents.
To both of them.
Yes, she specifically wished she could have shared it with her late mother, Tirasiasu, acknowledging her pioneering spirit and legacy. But she dedicated it equally to her father, recognizing his crucial guidance and encouragement throughout her journey.
So what does this all mean? It's a powerful testament to legacy, innovation, and the continuous evolution of cultural influence. Her story really connects the past, present, and future.
Absolutely. You see the family legacy igniting the passion, then her own journey of integrating diverse influences, Eritrean Chinese, leading to real innovation.
And the studio, the events, the award, they show Eritrean culture actively expanding its reach.
Exactly. She's not just making art, she's an ambassador, constantly enriching the global scene and showcasing Eritrea's positive impact. If we connect the threads, both Sonny Alem and Marta Woldu are not merely creators. They are vital cultural ambassadors, actively reshaping global perceptions and broadening appreciation for Eritrean and African artistic contributions.
They're presenting a different picture, aren't they? More nuanced, more dynamic.
Definitely. They show how personal roots can blossom into something universally resonant. They challenge simple narratives and offer this multifaceted view of Eritrean culture, traditional and modern, local and global. They invite the world to look closer.
What stands out to you about how they're doing this? It's like they're writing a new chapter for their cultural story, isn't it? Not just preserving, but actively evolving it for today.
That's precisely it. Sonny, with his R&B fusion, he's challenging what Eritrean music might mean to some people. He's showing its dynamism, that it can stand alongside any global genre.
Proving it's not static.
Right. It's living, breathing, evolving, capable of incredible depth and fusion.
And Marta, her work creates these physical, interactive bridges.
Indeed. The Sip and Dip Studio is a place for direct cultural immersion. People come together, create, learn through experience inspired by Eritrean traditions like the coffee ceremony. And the award in Asia firmly plants Eritrean cultural vitality on that regional map and beyond.
So they're creating spaces for exchange.
Yes, through finished art, but also through shared experiences. Both of them, in their own ways, are rewriting the narrative, moving towards a richer, more complex, and ultimately more positive and globally relevant understanding of Eritrean and African culture.
Which brings us to the aha moment for you, the listener. What's the big takeaway from Sonny and Marta's journeys?
I think it's seeing the incredible power of individual artists to cross borders, both physical and cultural. Their work builds unity, fosters respect, creates connections.
Art speaking that universal language again.
Exactly. And it shines a positive light on Eritrean culture, its depth, its vibrancy, its global relevance, which maybe doesn't always get the attention it deserves. Their passion and authenticity are truly transformative.
It really underlines that meaningful cultural exchange often happens through these authentic, passionate individuals, doesn't it? It's not always big institutions. It's artists like Sonny and Marta carrying their heritage forward with pride and innovation.
That's it perfectly. Their personal dedication makes a global positive impact.
So we've explored the amazing worlds of Sonny Alem and Marta Woldu. We've seen how their Eritrean roots have fueled truly global art that's making a real positive difference. Their stories really showcase cultural pride, artistic resilience, and just incredible creativity.
Truly inspiring examples.
So as you go about your day, maybe think about this. How might their work encourage you to look differently at cultural contributions from places you haven't thought much about before? And, what other hidden artistic gems are out there waiting for someone, maybe you, to discover them with a deeper dive?